Hi, and welcome to Talks with Shay. So today, I would like to begin with reading from Psalm chapter 50 and verse 15. And it says, "And call upon me in the day of trouble. I will deliver thee, and thou shalt glorify me." So today, for part two of your GPS, I would like to talk to you about emergencies. So when I think about emergencies, the first thing I think about is 911, right? You have an emergency situation, majority of the time in a natural sense, the first thing we tend to do a lot of times is call 911. It's an emergency, right? That's what we do. I know for me speaking, I like to call the cops. I ain't scared to dial 911. Like, I'm calling for everything. I see some crazy stuff going on, I'm dialing 911. I see somebody hit and run somebody, I'm calling 911. Whatever it might be, I'm calling them people, man. So, I just think about different times that I've actually had to call 911 for different emergencies, whether it's even home, like the old commercial. I've fallen and I couldn't get up, and the lady had to press the little button. Anyway, I'm just having a little fun today. But just in reality, if you think about it, a lot of times when we have emergencies, most of the times we calling somebody. If you have an emergency, you're going to pick up the phone and call somebody. When we look at it in a natural sense, but when we flip it over into a spiritual sense, our 911 we should be calling is on God. There's many times in my life where I've tried to call somebody and like people don't answer. Y'all ever had that happen to y'all before? It's like you need to talk to somebody and nobody seems to answer the phone. It's almost like the Lord is saying, I want you to talk to me. And that's what we need to get in a habit of. A lot of times in life, we go through different things in our lives. And so many times we want to call somebody because of a situation that has happened to whether talk us through it or hear us vent about it or whatever it might be. But in reality, a lot of times when we have emergencies, we should be running to God. Let God be that 911 call. Let God be on speed dial for us. Seek his face. Get on our knees and pray instead of always trying to reach out to someone else. Why don't we always reach out to God first? And I'm not saying every time or every person does that, but I'm just saying a lot of times in emergency situations, we're quick to call somebody instead of stop and pray. Ask God for strength. And if we choose to call somebody, fine. Not saying anything is wrong with calling somebody. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. But what I'm just trying to say is that God is always there. He's but of a mention of his name. We call Jesus and it's like he shows up like, what's up? So he's the one he's always there. People are not always there. People are not always available. But God is always there. He's always available. At the mention of his name, he's there. You think of so many times when you really needed somebody to talk to and you couldn't get in touch with nobody. And it's like, God's like, try calling Jesus, and that's what we need to get into a habit of. Instead of always rushing to call somebody else and vent to somebody else, we need to learn to get on our knees, get on our face before the Lord, and let God give us the direction and the strength and the comfort that we need. He provides all of those things for us. We're so quick to just want to reach out to people to hear them talk back, but in reality, God speaks to us too. We just have to sometimes sit and listen. And it's in the waiting sometimes that we have to wait it out to hear his voice. And it's okay. Just be patient and he'll speak. Just sit in silence. But you see, sometimes when we're going through stuff, we want to talk like we talk to somebody to go back and forth, back and forth. And I've had that happen between me and God before. But then sometimes it's like he don't answer, and it's like, hello, but he is but of a mention of his name. He shows up. So whatever emergency situation you may find yourself in sometimes, seek God first. Get your peace that you need from God first. That is the one that is always there. He's never late. He's always on time. Every time you call his name and talk to him, he's there. He's always there. Emergencies or non-emergencies, he's there. Why do we wait to choose to go to God? I'm going to go after I talk to my friend, or I'm going to go to God second. And whatever. We need to work on putting God first in our emergency situations. There's so many times, I'm guilty of doing that, and I'm talking to myself and I'm sharing with you as well. But we just need to do better with that. Instead of always so quick to pick up the phone in an emergency situation, how about fall on our knees and pray to God for him to come and do what he needs to do in that situation? I don't know what situations you may be facing today, or will face in the future, or have faced even in the past. But the reality of it is that even in emergency situations, God is still there. We just have to reach out. It's almost like he just be chilling in the corner like, you gonna talk to me or what? I got all the answers, because he does. He knows what's going to happen out of every situation, because he does. Here we are seeking counsel and advice from other people that have no clue what tomorrow going to hold for us. But he does. He knows our today. He knows our tomorrow. And instead of us always trying to get answers from people, we need to seek the answers from God. He already knows. He knows the path you are to take. He sees the end of every situation that we face. No matter what we go through in life, God already knows. He done set us up for different situations. Seem like it's never gonna end sometimes with different things we face in life. But guess what? There's always a beginning and an ending. And just like the Bible even says, the ending of something is better than the beginning. And so whatever you're facing today, I encourage you today that just know that God is but of a way of a mention of his name. You call on his name, Jesus, and he's going to show up, and he's going to show out, and he's going to do just what he needs to do in that emergency situation of your life. No matter how hard it may seem for you today, and no matter how tough and how hot the fire may feel, just know that he knows, and he's working it out for your good and for his glory. That's what it's all about. Stop calling on everybody else for different situations that you may find yourself in, and call on God. I was thinking about a situation I'm facing right now, and I was like, I wish I could just share some of this stuff with a certain person. And I'm like, okay, but I can't. So guess what, God? We're going to talk about this. And I just be real with him, just like I'm talking to a friend, because he already know, right? He knows your heart. He knows your intentions. He even knows your thoughts. So if you think it, he already know you thought it. Might as well pray it and just listen and see what he would do for you. Sometimes that's all he wants. Do we trust him enough, even in our emergency situations, that he will bring us the comfort that we need, that he will give us the direction and the clarity that we need? Yes, he can. Yes, he will. And yes, he has. And we just have to trust more in him in our emergency situations. You think about people that call 911, the ambulance coming, the cops coming, the fire department coming with their sirens all going, what we do? We're on the road. What we do? We pull over, we yield, we stop patiently and wait for them to pass. If you think about it in a spiritual sense, it's the same way. The sirens going off. There's an emergency in our life. What we have to do? We have to stop. We have to wait. We got to pray and let God have the end result for us. And that's what we have to do. We do it in the spiritual. We do it in the natural. We need to do it in the spiritual. We obey, the sirens passing and everything. And in emergency situations, it's the same thing with God. We just have to go to him, to trust him in our emergency situations, and know that, what, God? You got this fight for me. I can't do it. You already know the answer. Instead, we go into a panic and we're like, oh my God. You know why? Because we want to know everything. We want to have all the answers. And sometimes it doesn't work like that. But he knows all the answers. He knows the path you should take. He knows which direction to take. You know, I'm thinking about it now. How many times have you actually seen like the ambulance passing and they pass up the road, or they go the wrong direction trying to get into this emergency situation and they're going in the wrong direction? Guess what? God never goes in the wrong direction. His direction is always perfect. You know, and we just have to trust the direction that he's taking us, even when we don't understand it. He's doing something in the midst of that. So whatever you're dealing with, whatever seems like the most urgent thing in your life right now, just trust your 911 call to Jesus and know that he will show up. He's never late. He doesn't get lost in directions. He's always on time, and he's a very present help in the time of need. So whatever you're facing today, my encouragement to you would be trust in God. Call him. Let him be on your speed dial. Not everybody else, but let Jesus be your 911 call in your emergency situations. So before I go, I just want to remind you, if you haven't already, check out my website at www.talkswithshay.org. You can subscribe to my videos on YouTube and find me on Facebook. Like my page, share my page, invite your friends to like my page. And until next time with Talks with Shay, Shay is out. Y'all be blessed.